Nelson, and today we are coming to you live from the Royal Oath Insurance Group right here in Clinton Township, Michigan. Big shout out to the entire team here. Royal Oath is more than just an insurance agent. They're your promise keepers. Whether it's auto, home, business, life, or health insurance, they're here to protect what matters to you most. You can check them out at royaloathinsurance.com or give them a call at 586-238-3535. And of course, today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends at Connection, the CRM built for closers. If you're a real estate agent, entrepreneur, or small business owner looking to automate, follow up, and close more deals and stay top of mind, then Connection is your secret weapon. Go to yourconnection.com and take control of your pipeline today. Now, whether you're tuning in live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or X, catching the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream, we're glad you're here. Do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this with a friend, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. All right, guys, let's get locked in. We've got a powerhouse show lined up today, and if you're in business or real estate or just building something big, this one is for you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Elite Real Estate Podcast this morning. And, this is one of those days, man. It's going to be a great show. I've got a powerhouse guest on here, and as I bring him in, I want everybody to realize I got a little intro for him today. He probably doesn't even know this yet, but Wally Bressler is coming on the show today, and he's the founder of the $1 Million Producer Operating System, a neurological sales transformation system, and has conducted over 40,000 coaching calls. Is that true, Wally?
Actually, that needs to be updated. It's 95,000, but thank you.
Oh my God!
That was a couple of years ago. Yeah, I've actually been trying to update everything online. I guess I missed that one. Sorry. Yeah, it's about 95,000 now. Yeah.
Well, this proves everybody that AI is not always right.
Well, no, yeah, and it's actually Wally's not right. I've tried to update everything, and my bad. So that's on me.
Oh man, well, so give us the update. Then what's the update? 95,000 coaching calls.
Yep, yeah, but a little over 325,000 prospecting and sales and service calls. 28 years in the business, 25 years coaching. So I've been very, very fortunate. I mean, have longevity in the real estate industry as partially as an agent, but as a coach and mentor. So I've been very, very blessed for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I've been in the business for a little over 10.
Okay.
And how I got into it is I got hired as a productivity coach before I had my real estate license.
KW?
Yeah. Yeah, before I had my real estate license.
You can learn a lot of, I mean, it's interesting. I saw a quote the other day that said, even if you don't agree with somebody, you can still learn something from them.
100%.
And sales is sales is sales is sales. It's a sales process, right? There's know, like, trust. There's rapport. There's discovery. There's the sale process. There's transitions. There's close. It's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I think real estate's one of those things that you need to learn more about. To be successful,
sure,
salesperson and sales coach, but in general, prospecting calls a prospecting call, same elements, same everything. So, I completely see that.
Yeah. And real estate sales, right? Just the basis, the very thin layer of it is, you're right. Sales is sales. It is what it is, right? It's building rapport. It's asking more questions. It's digging deeper. It's finding that common ground. And you're right. Real estate can get tricky when you talk about contracts and negotiations a little bit and all that stuff. But the basis of it, I think, is pretty just salesy.
Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, it's you got to make sure you're working with the right people. My minimum standards are: you moving in 90 days. Do you have the money to buy a house, or do you have equity to sell a house, and do you have a life event as a reason to move? Right. Yeah. As long as there's she said hello. Hey, good morning. How are you? All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I love it. Good to see you. Thank you. But it's interesting because I think a lot of times people fit square pegs in round holes. They're so excited to get a listing opportunity. They're so excited to meet a buyer that they don't do the right amount of discovery, and they spend a lot of time with people they shouldn't be spending time to. But if you say, hey, listen, this is my buy box, right? I'm only working with people that are moving in 90 days, that have equity or can afford a home, and that have a life event, like actually have to move, your sales infinitely go up. And I think that's the same with every industry.
Yeah.
Finding the right people to meet with, and then doing the right things in the right order, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing when you do the right things, what happens.
Call me crazy. Right. Right.
Yeah, it's funny. Being in the industry and doing all those things. I did mortgages before I did this. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so I could have, and I was a heavy dialer, right? Because
Oh, I'm
I
a
was
big
in
fan
mortgage business.
myself.
So when I came into the real estate business, and everybody was like, "I don't really like dialing." I'm like, "What else do we do?"
Well, yeah, it's the precursor to all that is successful, right? I mean, even if you have the best social media, the best AI, the best everything, even if you get people to the goal line, you still have to call them and have a conversation with them and lead them to the conclusion that you're the best opportunity for them to meet with to solve their problem.
Yeah,
Right now, granted, inbound leads are better than outbound leads, but the real estate industry is rife with outbound sales. So,
yeah, yeah. And one of the things that you talk about is getting over that call reluctance,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And digging into that.
Mhm.
And where did that idea come from? I mean, obviously everybody has call reluctance, right?
60% of the 59% of all salespeople have, what would you say, a strong need to be liked, which creates that need for approval, that need for acceptance, that fear of rejection. So roughly almost 2/3 of all salespeople have an issue with it. So yeah, it's pretty, and 80% of new agents do, 44% of existing agents do, right? I think, Jimmy, I think the thing is, there's one type of call reluctance. I just call it like syntax call reluctance, which is knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, right? As soon as you get comfortable with what to say, when to say it, how to say it, you're off and running, right?
Yeah,
But the majority of it, probably 80% of it, is the kind of call reluctance that I spend time with, which is kind of an emotionally driven call reluctance.
yeah,
And the way I found out about it was basically picking my life back up after hitting rock bottom. Believe it or not, it was one of those things where, um, I just had, I dated somebody after a long life of lots of bad choices, but I just broken up with somebody who I dated for 4.5 years, and a few days after we broke up, I found out she was married the whole time we were together.
whoa,
Yeah, and so and my life had been just marred with lots of bad decisions, 40 years addiction to food, money, sex, infidelity. Like I was just a mess, and so a month after I found out about that, I was going to take my own life, and I didn't, fortunately. But after a conversation with God and realizing that I'm at rock bottom, and I decided I was going to work on myself. And in talking to 4 years of therapy, 2.5, almost 3 years, twice a week, I'm saying, what I realized that there were things that happened when I was a child that influenced the decisions that I made to get me where I was, and a lot of it was avoiding fear.
yeah,
And so I went to avoidance strategies. I mean, procrastination, perfectionism, food, sex, wasting. I think I blew like $6 million. At
yeah,
least between the ages of like 21 and 50, maybe more. You know, and but but what I learned that is there's situations that happen when you're a child, between the time you're born and the time you turn 12, that trigger your fight, freeze, or flight instinct. If you have call reluctance, you had your flight or freeze instinct triggered, and basically what that did is that that caused you to start avoiding things that were the reason for that trigger. So I had call reluctance for 10 years. At one point in my life, I weighed 540 pounds. I've blown millions of dollars, and so I made a lot of bad choices. But for 10 years, I avoided the phone, and what I realized is that when you're abused as a child, sexually, emotionally, physically abused, or you're bullied, or you grow up poor, or you stand out because you're tall, short, fat, skinny, gay. You're black in an all-white neighborhood, you're white in an all-black neighborhood. There's something that's really different about you. You're sick as a child, you have a sick parent, alcoholic parents. Your parents fight all the time, your parents never fought. So there's things that happen that create this what do you call it? This that triggers the need to avoid,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah,
procrastination, perfection, that triggers that, and what happens is, your brain says, okay, we're going to avoid this because it hurts us. And see, if I could reason with you, if I could go to 3-year-old Jimmy Nelson and say, hey, when your parents are super strict and they never give you a pat on the back when you did a good job and said, hey, you're always supposed to do that, and when they reamed you when you did a bad job, that's just their way of trying to do the best they could. It had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So I talked to a kid the other day. He's 18, and his parents fought all the time. There was a 10-year gap in the parents' age. His mom was 29. His dad was 19 when they met. Had him when he was young. Who knows how to be a great dad when they're 19?
Not a lot of people.
Few and far between, right? And so there were lots of fights over him and about him, and he took it as him being a bad person.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about him, right? It had nothing to do with him. It's just his parents trying to figure out how to raise him, but he internalized it. So it created a tremendous amount of anxiety in him and consternation and belief in himself, right? And fear of screwing up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. And so what happens is your brain's job is to protect you, but from doing dumb stuff like petting rattlesnakes or, jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, right?
Yeah.
But because its job is to protect you and that fear kicks in, it feels like it needs to save you from rejection and not being approved of and not being accepted and all these other things. And so what happens is your brain decides to protect you, and then it helps you avoid experiences your entire life that are related to that. So anything that could trigger that fear, your brain goes, oh, I got you. And here's the thing, it does it because that's its job, but it doesn't realize you don't need to be saved from rejection.
Yeah.
It doesn't realize you don't need to be saved from not being liked. It doesn't, you don't need to be saved from being hung up on, right?
Right.
But it does that. And so the thing is, I don't know how old you are. I just turned 58 in July. It's still July 19th. Sorry. I just turned 58 about 11 days ago, 12 days ago. But the whole point is, my brain doesn't know that I'm 58. My brain looks at today as the same as it did 55, 56 years ago. So whatever I'm triggered by today, my brain's, oh my God, it looks at it as if I was 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It has no clue, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to treat whatever fear I haven't dealt with or learned how to deal with today the same way it did when I was 4.
Yeah. It's kind of like we still have that caveman brain back here too, right? Like that's
brain, yeah.
Still deep rooted in there. Because like if your shadow flies over you, we flinch, right?
Yeah.
There's not a bird alive today that's gonna pick me up. You know what I mean?
I'm 6'3" and a big guy. I'd be like a pterodactyl. I don't think they're around anymore. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm 6'3", I'm 240 pounds. Like there's no bird that's gonna fly and pick me up. Like that's not. But if the shadow goes over me, I still flinch. Like or if you walk by and the bush shakes, like there's not a saber-toothed tiger that's gonna jump out of that bush. But
right.
We still have that. But so that to your point, like that's still ingrained in there. You know what I mean? Like our body fears that.
Yeah, it's a negativity bias. We're born with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sadly, that negativity bias bleeds over into things it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're wired to look for things that can hurt us.
Yeah.
And it's our job to determine what we're really going to let hurt us and what's not. And that I see all these people. Oh, the biggest challenge facing real estate agents is not enough leads. The biggest challenge facing real estate agents is they're not good with AI. The biggest challenge facing real estate agents is they don't pick up the damn phone. They don't call enough. They don't talk to enough people. They don't talk to people enough. Yeah. Right? 1995, internet hits the ground pretty much officially at that point. And they're like, you're never going to sell another thing through another human being. There'll be no more brick and mortar. You'll never work with people. .com comes, right? 6 years later. Oh my God, everything's going to be done online. And, AI hits another few years ago. Oh my God, AI is going to replace it. You're still here.
Here we are.
You're not going anywhere, right? You're still going to talk to people. I mean, technology's made it so that more of what you need to do can be done online and done via, a robot. But at the end of the day, I still have to talk to you and say, hey, here's the reason why you're going to want to meet with me. Here's the reason why, and by the way, Jimmy, that reluctance bleeds over to meeting with people face to face, asking people to sign paperwork, talking about money, negotiations. It still impacts people at that level too. So,
yeah, it's a big thing, right? It's and I like I said, we you and I have been doing this for a long time, right? And trying to help people out, and
Mhm.
but then every once in a while we need some help too.
I have a coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, coaches, mentors. That it's very important. I always Tom Brady, his peak of being Tom Brady had 7 coaches.
Yeah.
I mean it's
At least.
yeah.
At least. Yeah. Offensive coordinator, quarterback
No, those are
coach.
7 of his own because he had a nutrition coach,
Oh,
he had
yeah,
a
for
throwing
him,
coach.
for himself.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah,
him
yeah, yeah.
himself.
Mindset coach, nutrition coach, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let
Fitness.
alone the football staff. But he had his own
Great. But
coaches.
people don't believe in coaching, right?
Right.
7 World Series rings. Tiger Woods won every major championship, but nobody needs a coach.
Nobody needs a coach. Yeah. And my favorite one is Denzel Washington, right? Like I love Denzel. But Denzel still has an acting coach.
Believe that.
And I'm like, who is the acting coach for Denzel?
You can't know everything.
Right.
It's impossible.
No, I
It's
agree.
impossible. It's interesting. There's coaching companies out there like, oh, your agency and accountability, your agency and accountability. Yeah, everybody needs accountability, but you can't hold the wrong person accountable.
Yeah.
I can't, and here's the thing. People who don't want to be held accountable, it's 100% a self-esteem issue. It's 100% a self-worth issue. All right. They don't want to look bad, right? They don't want to feel like they're letting you down. They don't want to let themselves down. And so the twisted thing about it, it's almost like cognitive dissonance, right? Like I'm just, the brain does not connect with the reality. And so I would rather look bad and not accomplish something in my own little world and think that people are not realizing that I'm not looking bad than actually show up and say I need help and look bad. Right? We've got it twisted. We think being able to do everything ourselves is strength, and really strength is being willing to say, hey, listen, I need some help.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't hold somebody accountable who doesn't want to be held accountable, who is afraid of looking bad, who can't take feedback because they take it as an insult or they take it personally. So
yeah. Yep. And I think that's another trauma thing, right? Like
100%.
I don't want to be held accountable because I was held accountable my entire life,
And
so now
not in a good way.
Yeah, probably not in a good way.
Mhm.
I got yelled at, I got beat, I got whatever. And then so that's where I find real estate agents are interesting because everybody gets into this because they're gonna they want to build their own business. They want to have the freedom of being in real estate, and what you can have, but you got to have some self-discipline for it to build a big business.
Right. Time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, the 3 freedoms that 99.9% of people come to real estate for. But that freedom comes at a tremendous amount of cost. And by the way, when you have call reluctance issues, you usually have time management issues, you usually have relationship management issues, you usually have goals management issues. Like it's pervasive. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody who had call reluctance, like I can, they're not able to stick to a calendar. They probably don't prospect consistently. They probably don't do anything consistently.
Yeah.
Right. Because that consistency requires discipline. That discipline requires, hey, listen, you need to do a better job. You're not good enough at this moment. You're not good enough at that, and just not willing to look at that and accept that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, here's the other thing, and I think it's important. If you're somebody who has trouble going to sleep, somebody who has trouble staying asleep, if your brain is moving, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on high alert, it's hard to have any consistency in anything because your brain will not let you stop and look around to fix the problems that are there. It's just going to be looking to protect you all day long. And then when you're trying to sleep at night, it's going, hey, there's an issue here. That's why you're awake, because you have to deal with it, right? So, and that's why people, just they're on high alert, trying to figure everything out, and they can't get anything done,
Yeah. And it's funny. That's the point where I find myself a lot of times is I'm like a lot of times I'm reactionary, right? I'm not being. I need to be more proactive instead of reactive, right? And I feel that sometimes. So what you're saying is, you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta make this phone call, this text message, I gotta send an email, and then it troubles all of us. It's not a me and you. You and I are not immune to these things, and like these things happen to us. So it's like I can help steer you around some of these things if you like.
Yeah, I think once you, I can explain this. I think the best gift anybody can give themselves is to stop caring what other people think, and
Oh,
and raise your standards so high that they're going to be higher than anybody else's, and then realize that because you have high standards, that you know you're going to do a good job for somebody, that you're never ever going to let anybody down. And me letting you down is really up to me. It's not up to you.
yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
you have no right to expect anything from me other than what I've told you. So if I don't meet your expectations, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying I'm doing the best that I can every day, all day long. If I don't meet your expectations, I apologize.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's is there a trick to getting over that?
yeah, it's not. It's yeah. It's not even a trick. It's not even a trick. It's how can I? The simple answer is mindfulness. Okay, so if we think about the future and we think about all the things that need to happen, think about all the things that are out of our control, we can get anxious, we can get fearful, we can get into, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that mode, right? If I think about the stuff that's happened in the past and the bad stuff that we've done and the anger and the fear and the hurt, we can get depressed, right? But if
Yeah.
I'm focusing right now on this moment only and nothing else, neither of those things appear, right? And so mindfulness is really just focusing on the present. The simplest way to become mindful is to do something like box breathing. Breathe in for a count of four, hold for a count of four, breathe out for a count of four, hold for a count of four, and do that, right? We've got a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. We live, for the most part, in our parasympathetic nervous system, which is called rest and digest, right? Everything's working normally, right? Your brain's doing what it's supposed to do, blinking eyes, salivating your mouth, moving food down your digestive tract, all without any help from you, right? But as soon as you get triggered, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. That's when you get the dry mouth, sweaty palms, sweaty pits. Your heart starts pounding because your body's taking in more air. Your digestive tract shuts down. That's why you get upset stomach. All this adrenaline's pumping. You get lightheadedness, right? The only way to get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest is to breathe. Okay. And so what happens is when you feel yourself getting triggered, you have to start breathing and calm your brain down and let your brain know that everything is okay. Because
Yeah.
it feels that it needs to come to the rescue. And sometimes it comes to the rescue in the form of anxiety. And sometimes it comes to the rescue. Oh my God, we got to do all these things. We got to take care of all these things. We got to get this done. Right. Or it comes to the rescue. Let's avoid this because people aren't going to like us. Okay. But if you can start practicing that mindfulness when 2 times at the point of attack, when your brain starts to go crazy, and if you practice it like just normally, like, do 10 minutes a day of mindfulness. And I like the mindful movement for mindfulness guided meditation. If you do that enough, your brain is going to just calm down. And eventually it's not going to feel the need to come in and rescue you. And then once that starts to happen, you can start working on things like affirmations and rewiring what you feel about yourself, and then doing some journaling and writing down things that are challenging for you and getting them out of your head in a piece of paper so you can look at them,
Yeah.
And so once you calm your mind down and you can start processing things, eventually you can start processing the need to be liked, the need to be approved of, the feeling of I'm not good enough unless I accomplish something. You can start working on all that with affirmations and journaling and maybe even therapy if necessary. But the key ingredient here is to actually 100% make sure that you are breathing and doing your mindfulness.
Yeah. That's one of those really important things, right? Like that. I feel like that the idea that I'm a big emotional intelligence person, right? Like that's
My favorite, next to empathy and resilience, that is like my favorite trait about somebody.
yeah. And it's being calm, right, in the situation. And I had, I've been coaching high school basketball for 20 years, right? So,
Nice.
and people will say, like, how do you stay calm in the moment? I'm like, well, have you ever been down by one with 3 seconds to go at a timeout, and you got 30 seconds to tell 5 teenagers that they need to win this game and how they're going to do it?
You can't be like, ah!
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's again, it's not like, and again, this is what I relate it back to, how I relate it back to real estate. It's not life or death, right? Losing that game or winning that game is not a life or death thing, right? Getting my offer accepted for my client or whatever, it's not a life or death thing, right? It's a financial issue, and they obviously want the house, or they need to sell the house with whatever side I'm on.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's nobody's going to die. You know what I mean? And it's one of the funny things that I had this conversation with Leo Perea, and Leo said the same thing. Leo's like, "But did anybody die?" I'm like, "No."
Nobody lost blood, hair, bones broken, no lost teeth, no lost vision, you know. and the thing is people want to avoid those situations, but they can't avoid those situations. They need those situations because that's what builds resilience and helps you do a better job the next time around.
Yeah.
You know, Leo Perea doesn't get to be the CEO of EXP just because he's smart and he's a nice guy. He's been through some stuff. He's built some companies. He's built some companies up, and he's been through the ringer along the way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when that's how you get responsibility and, the ability to get more, make more, do more, because you can handle more.
And I think it's not by accident. And I think that comes along with what a lot of people don't understand. I think it comes along with you've failed at things. You know what I mean?
You have to.
Yeah.
Grow. But that's where that circle of accountability comes. You got to be willing to fail and get feedback, right? You know, it's interesting. The more you fail, the less you fail.
Yeah. Right? Interesting, right?
The more you fail, the less you fail, because you figure out how not to do things, right? I mean, that's kind of what survival of the fittest is all about, right? You know, the people that lived and got stronger and procreated the same type of people are the people that, they failed, but it didn't kill them.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the giraffes stretched their necks longer. It's the ones that had the longer necks who could eat, survived, and they had more babies with longer necks, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because the other ones failed and they learned and, along the way. So anyway, but yeah absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting. And now, like, my audience doesn't know this yet, but now that I'm working with realty.com, I get to work alongside you and be a coaching stuff together, working with realty.com.
Yeah, we get to help people. So it's cool. Can I bring something else up?
Yeah.
This is an interesting dynamic. It took me until I was probably 53 to learn this. Everybody wants to help other people. Oh, I got to help people. I'm here to help people. I'm here to do other things for people. A lot of people help people at their own expense. Meaning they push aside the stuff that they need to work on so they can help other people, partially because, and mainly because they want to feel good about helping other people, but it also lets them avoid dealing with the crap that they need to deal with for themselves. Right. Yeah. And that's what I found myself in, helping real estate agents have successful businesses and fixing and changing lives and stuff like that. And my life's, literally in the toilet because I let all my stuff go so I can help other people. Right. That's why the airlines say to put your mask on first, right? Take care of yourself first, and because you can be of even more help to people at that point.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense, and it's so true, because that is one of the things that, I find. Again, the same thing, right? I want to help, but that's avoiding me. It's avoiding helping me. I'm just going to help everybody else, and that's how you do lose oxygen.
Because, lots of it. Yeah, that's
that's how you do lose oxygen. So, so that was a big announcement for the audience, is that my announcement of that I'm working with realty.com now, and get to coach agents all across the country, and working on some great things with some great people. And oh man, it's been a whirlwind to start, I'll tell you that. But
it's a bit crazy. 100%. Yes.
I did jump in with both feet right into the deep end.
There's only deep ends there. There's no shallow in there. So
yeah. So
lots of opportunity.
Yes, 100%. And what over your coaching span and the things that you've done, and I want the audience to know too, you're an award-winning author as well.
Thank you.
I mean, it's incredible to, I did my research. Right. I did some research, found some things out. You and I have had a couple phone calls.
Yeah.
But what was it like? What was it like writing that book? I mean, you share a lot of personal experience in there. You dive into some things. What was it like writing that book?
Thank you very much for saying that too. I appreciate you sharing that information with people. it was, a lot of us run in fear of what other people are going to think about us. And I did it for a long time, and I still fight it sometimes, it's been ingrained in me for so long. I do a lot better with it now, but occasionally I still think about what other people are thinking about me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And in a way, it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's why we shower and shave and look good, because we want to look good, and let, show other people that we care about ourselves to a certain extent. But, I think for me, part of it was just taking away the power of what all of those things could mean. Right. Because once you own something, all the powers of somebody using it against you is gone.
Yeah.
I am a convicted felon. I did cheat on my wife. I did blow $6 million. I did make lots of bad choices. You know what I'm saying? And so, my business partner lied on $6 million worth of mortgage applications, but I didn't know he was doing that, but I also wasn't trying to make sure we were doing the best job possible either. So I made a lot of bad choices, and I just had to accept them. And that book was really, really good because it gave me a chance to just accept the things that I did, but also use the life experience I had to help other people as well.
Yeah.
And it was tough, writing it. It was just like, wow, going through all these things and getting them out. But for me, it was cathartic from the standpoint that I was like, okay, well, you know what? There's nothing you can say about me that I don't agree with, and it's not gonna, hurt me anymore. So it's super helpful, and it's been helpful for a lot of people now too. So it's been, it was really, really good. It was hard, but it was good.
You did the M&M. You just, I am poor white trash. I did come from a trailer. I do live here. I did this. I did that.
I mean,
now say something about me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's not exactly 8 Mile, but right. Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to say? Right. It's like, you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
But it did help me because, I was worried about what other people thought about me.
Yeah.
I did make a lot of my decisions. I was a huge people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say no to people. I mean, all those things. And it really helped heal all that and keep me from having to do that anymore,
Yeah. Yeah. And I always relate to the M&M thing because he grew up like 6 blocks away from me, and he went to like my rival high school.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still in Michigan, right?
Yeah, I still am in Michigan. Yeah. Yeah. I don't live in the same house anymore. It's not that wasn't a great neighborhood.
Did you do Barack Obama did and drink a glass of Flint water? Did you do that? A glass of Flint water, even though you really didn't swallow it?
No, I knew to avoid that.
Bill Clinton's version of I didn't inhale.
I didn't inhale, yeah. No, but it's I think that the writing the book, I think because that's always crossed my mind too. I've always wanted to write a book, and
go do it.
And I think that's one of the things too, like that is I think just putting your feelings down on paper, right? I think that's a big release that I didn't understand when I was younger.
Not even. I mean, I had Claude help me write, the book I just released.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had Claude help me write it. I co-authored a book with, Jay Kinder, Albie Stasek, and a bunch of other people from EXP and other companies, across, the United States and Canada. And it was published with Nick Nann's company, Select Press, right? And so, we all wrote a chapter. And so I took that chapter and I used it as the foundation for a book I just wrote with Chris Heller and Kyle Draper. I'm not here to shamelessly promote it, but
shamelessly promoted. It's fine.
It's I wish I had a copy here, but it's called, basically Rethink Everything You Know About Prospecting. And it's about the fact that no such thing as bad leads. It's just you not being willing to pick up the phone, and here's why you're not willing to do it, and here's how to fix it. But I did the majority of that in Claude. You know what I'm saying? I took stuff that I had written before. Like, here's the thing: you can speak into Claude, you can speak into ChatGPT and have them save it. Don't on paper, just get the app and just talk to it as your things come up. Talk to it. Things come up. Talk to it. Spend time. Talk to it. You're driving. Talk to it, and just start putting the things you would write into there, and say, "Hey, listen, can you turn this into a book? Tell it exactly what you want, the lessons you're trying to tell, to share with people. Have it give you suggestions for titles. Have it turn it into chapters, and then look at it, and then continue to revise it and add things to it. It's never been easier to write a book.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. That's true. So with with you and I getting to work together now, maybe you and we co-author a book.
What do you want to call it?
We'll have to figure that out.
Big guys on real estate.
Yeah, the Twin Towers of real estate or something like that. Maybe.
Exactly right. Yeah, right. Yeah, let's do it, man. Yeah, So it's never been easier to write a book, and it's still one of the best ways to build credibility for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big thing for the audience to realize too, right? Russ Lagan said the same thing. Like Russ wrote a book, and Russ and I had a couple conversations about that, and we talked about it, pretty in depth. And he's like, could you imagine going to a listing appointment and saying that you're an author and give somebody a copy of your book?
Mm-hmm. And there's lots of companies that out there that will allow you to go ahead and tap into a book that's already existing and customize the intro.
Yeah.
Right. There's and you can, I mean, look, there's what is it called? PLRs, private label rights. Okay. There's people out there that have written all kinds of stuff, articles, blog posts, social media posts, where they've written books.
Yeah.
And if you just Google real estate PLRs, there's, it doesn't have to be like 900 pages, 20, 30, 40 pages books about real estate that you can take and publish as your own.
Yeah. Well, look, we also know that nobody's going to read a 900-page book.
No one reads a 90-page book. They read the intro, they read the first chapter, and they read the last chapter.
So here's something for the audience. Everybody go write a book.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you just Google private label rights and real estate books, there's hundreds of them, right? And then basically you pay a small fee, and then you go and produce the book as your own, because that's what it's all about. Customize it. You can change the title, customize the intro, and do what you have to do, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing too. I think that here's one thing that I want to ask you about people getting over things, right? There's a lot of the comparison issues, right? And social media hasn't helped us with that at all.
No.
Because everybody sees stuff on social media, and I'm like, that person, if you look up their numbers, they're not driving a Ferrari. They're just taking a picture in front of it. You know what I mean?
It's just one continuous dream state for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that post the worst days of their life on there too.
Sure.
I mean, I don't. I mean, if God forbid I had a family member die, I wouldn't post about it online. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or if I'm going on this amazing vacation and I'm spending millions of dollars on it, I might or might not. But it's different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And depending upon who you are and where you are and what you do for a living, it's appropriate for you to post that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's it's like, don't look at the chapter 12. Like, don't look at chapter 12 of somebody's life, and assume that's the first chapter. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that happened in between that, right?
Right. Yeah, there's and I'm in the Metro Detroit area, and Mark Z is one of the biggest names.
Mark Z
in Michigan, right? He's the real estate guy in Michigan.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like, I want to be like Mark, and I'm like, well, it's taken Mark 25 years to get to where Mark is.
25-year overnight success, right?
Yeah, that's what he always says. He's like, yeah, I'm a 25-year overnight success. But also what people fail to realize, because they want to skip to chapter 12. Mm-hmm. Those first 11 chapters are the hard ones. That's the sleepless nights. I own a business now. Great, my business just went in the tank. Now it's better. Now the market crashed. Now that it's like you survive through all these things, but you now people just see the other side of it, right? They don't see. It's like the iceberg theory, right? Everybody sees the peak of it. They don't see the whole bottom of it. Right, and I think that's one of the difficult things of getting real estate agents over that. Like you gotta put the grind in, right? Like there's those days, and I call them water the plant days. You still have to, if you're not feeling it today, you still have to get in the office, do your couple hours of prospecting, and then check out, right? Mm-hmm. You got to water the plant, otherwise the plant dies, right? So you still have to water the plant, and then you can go home, And those are okay. It's okay to have one of those days. It's okay to have that day. It's not a big issue. It can be if it's 10 days in a row, where you're feeling that way. But
I think John Kitchens. John Kitchens is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
Johnny's a great coach, really good guy. He's like he says if you're gonna not do something, he says don't miss more than one day.
mm-hmm.
Right? You start missing 2 days, 2 days turns into three. You know what I'm saying? Like if you miss more than one day, it starts becoming a negative habit. So try not to miss more than one day of something if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and John, I've been on his podcast. He's been on here,
Yeah.
and one of the ultra marathon thing. I'm like, are you crazy? You're gonna go run 100 miles?
Yeah, I've talked about that before. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? How many pairs of shoes you bring with you, food and stuff like that. You don't think about. You're spending 3 days, 2 days of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, running.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he's a beast.
Like if I'm running, if you see me running like that, you should run too, because there's something big.
I'm not running for joy.
Yeah, there's something big behind me. You know what I mean?
Getting this thing moving right here, man. We don't do it just for fun.
It used to be fun. It's not anymore. It hurts now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it hurts. I'm 53, so it hurts now. But yeah, what is and you've been a speaker at big events. I mean, you've done a ton of stuff in for real estate agents.
Yeah, I'm really, really blessed for sure. I've been very fortunate to work with amazing agents, leaders, influencers, and stuff like that. So I'm super, super blessed for sure.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Yeah, I feel that, man. And again, it's who you surround yourself with matters.
Agreed.
And all those things. What's been the most challenging thing for you working with real estate agents?
Wanting it more than they do.
Mm.
Wanting it for them more than they want it for themselves.
Mm. That hits home. So
yeah,
it's like a punch in the face.
Yeah, there's people who wanted things for me in the past more than I wanted them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's wanting success for them more than they want it for themselves.
Yeah. And what's the success story after that? Like what's been your biggest that is there a specific agent or a specific time or something you saw someone's just trajectory just take off after working with them?
I'm very fortunate.
Everybody, right?
Everybody, but not everybody. I've had, and this isn't so much wanting it more than they want it for themselves, but this is more like helping people overcome some limiting beliefs. And, Brian O'Neill is, he's an EXP guy. He's like, 2 years ago, he was the number one agent for volume in EXP for South Carolina. This last year, he was number 3, but, he was a part-time real estate agent, full-time fighter, wanted to, like when we first started talking, he's like, I like to be able to sell houses. I could go full-time in 10 years, had trouble picking up the phone, didn't want to prospect, put him through my course. And, one day he calls me, he says, hey, I just got a $500,000 listing. I'm like, great. I go, how'd you get that? He goes, I was calling FSBOs. I was like, really? Okay. He says, yeah, he's got a $725,000 house to sell after that. I'm like, great. And then he just kept working and working and working. And now, he was number 3 last year for volume. He's seven-time Icon Award winner, 7 years in a row.
Okay.
Makes about $500,000 in GCI a year, a little bit more, and on the recruiting path now, and building a nice downline and stuff like that. It's just been amazing. I look at it this way: I can't do any of the work for you. Just got to tell you what to do. It's up to you to do it.
Yeah.
But he's just very fortunate he's a good friend of mine now, to a great guy.
Yeah. It's nice how that works out, right? Like I've met a lot of agents through coaching and, our morning call, the Breakfast Club's on here this morning and through our coaching call. And for you Breakfast Clubbers, Wally's going to be joining us on Monday morning. So you can get into the Breakfast Club call. If you're calling into the show or if you're calling into the Breakfast Club line, you can call in on Monday. Wally's going to be joining us on Monday. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about some call reluctance stuff too. So it'll be big. It'll be big.
My calendar. It's at 6:30, right? I mean, 7:30 again.
Yep. 7. Yep. Yeah, we do it early, right? And so the funny thing about that call is it's morphed into we've been doing it for 6 years.
Well,
So it's grown, right? So we got people on the line today listening from Colorado, from Michigan, from Georgia, from Florida, uh, another one from New Jersey. So we got a few people on here.
Thank you for listening. Appreciate that. That's cool. Thank you. Yeah, it's what is it? It's 8:20. Okay, so I'm in Central Time Zone. So, but yeah, yep.
Yeah. And, oh, yay. So, because she's on our call every day.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
awesome. Yep, I worked
Yep.
with her when doing some work with a house jet.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And house
Yeah.
jet, honey badgers with Jake Hinder, Michael Reese.
Yeah. The honey badgers.
Yep, honey badgers. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I'm in in that group too, because Kurt Shewell is my sponsor. And so it's nice to it was one of the eye-opening things for me, right? I came to EXP and didn't realize what I was stepping into until I got there. But from an aspect of, again, it goes back to like who you surround yourself with matters, and you start to realize who you're surrounded with, and through our Breakfast Club call we have, and on the Breakfast Club call and everywhere else, it's anybody from any brokerage can join in. It's fine.
Eric, come on down.
That's right. That's right. We're not.
Animal House, come on in. Don't cost nothing. Right?
Yeah, that was it.
Don't cost nothing.
Oh man. And what have you seen with working with realty.com? What's been a big thing over there?
I mean, Lance is amazing, super smart guy. I just love that, they found something with the cash offer leads that is just so vital in this industry, and just having in front of them, and not just the leads, but the technology that goes along with, how they do it, the quality of the leads, it's like you talk to way more of them than you talk to other leads. That can, you get 70% show rates. I'm not selling them. They've done such a good job of coming up with such a great product, Lance and Adam and Donnie. And, it's something you can get behind and feel good about, because it does what it says it's going to do. High level of integrity,
Yeah.
So that's what I really love. And it's like everything else, I could give you the best shovel in the world, with, the handle, the wood, the shaft, the wood, made from trees from the enchanted forest. And, the metal is taken from the hull of the Titanic. And, it's like the most amazing shovel on the face of the planet. But if you don't stick the shovel in the ground, you're never going to dig a hole.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how good it is. So, the people who take what Lance has created, and Adam and Donnie have created and built, like, they have great success with, and the people that don't, they don't, So, but it's an amazing product, really, really good people, very caring, very knowledgeable, obviously, they bring good people on like you who know what they're doing. So that's super helpful. And you clearly, we've talked, you live with the servant's heart. So, you perfect fit for the company too. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I try, man.
And that was not a paid endorsement either. That was, that's from the heart. So, right.
Yeah. I try to, and people ask me, and I'm
you don't try, dude. You do. There's a difference. You're not trying.
Yeah. Like that's the thing.
You're not trying.
This is who I am. This is it.
Right.
And sometimes it costs me more. You know what I mean? You know this too, because you're in the same boat, right? You do things more than, because we care about people. You care about people. We wouldn't be doing what we do if we didn't care about people.
No, and I think people wouldn't be real estate agents unless they cared about people too. The problem is we overcare sometimes, and that's a boundary issue.
Yeah.
And people who have call reluctance issues also have boundary issues. It's all part of the same thing, right? And for me, I used to help. I used to like pour in and try and help everybody. And, now we'll talk, and I'm like, this is what you need to do, but I'm not, what I'm saying? Unless you're my kid, you're not getting the, I'm going to help you and do the best to help you, or pour into you. And as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, we're good. But if you're done, I'm done.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids. I don't need any more.
I have 2 and I don't need any more. I'm good.
No, even if you have 1, you don't need any more. So yeah,
Well, that's one of those things, dude. And John Kitchens and I had this conversation about that. And he said, the hard part about being a leader or a coach is people are coming to you with problems all the time, right? Like they're struggling with this, they're struggling with that. And he goes, and then they leave their drunk monkeys on your desk and walk out. And now you're stuck dealing with their drunk monkeys, and you have to be like, no, take those with you. Right?
Yeah, right.
Take
Here's
those,
a box.
Yeah.
Here's a box. Fill it up.
Take those drunk monkeys back with you, because I have my own. I don't need any more.
Yeah. And but to your point also, it's hard to turn off sometimes too,
Yeah.
Some people just want to talk, and you're like, okay, so here, let me do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. They're like, no, so your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel that whether you're in a leadership position with a real estate team leader or sales director, whatever you are, right? Like that's another big coaching point for you guys and you gals that are the leaders of teams and organizations we struggle with, we take on everybody else's issue and it just compounds ours.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we need to learn from a leadership standpoint, that we need to let go of that.
Well, not just that, it's interesting. That's a skill in and of itself is being able to cut the tail off of whatever happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people who are empaths and stuff like that, who take on other people's emotions, like you got to learn to be like, okay, you know what, speaking of monkeys, not my monkey, not my circus, not my monkey. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Okay, and, a lot of times we get pulled into other people's drama and we feel like the sense of significance and value by staying contacted and connecting with that drama and helping them out. And that just is a time suck. It's emotion suck,
Yeah. Yeah. And people a lot of times don't realize how emotionally draining what we do is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really, and that's the thing, emotion has no place in business.
Correct.
Other than to propel you to be successful, other than helping you do the things you want to do when you need to do and you don't want to do them, other than getting yourself fired up and doing the things that are tough sometimes. It has no place in business. It does not help negotiations. It does not help, make relationships better and let me just be very clear. Emotions, there's a difference in, using emotions and being emotional. Being emotional is somebody who lets emotions rule their day, rule their decisions, like lets emotions be front and center when it comes time to make decisions, to talk with people, right? Using emotions, responding to emotions, having emotions, perfectly normal, using them the way they're meant to be. When you get emotional, when you start letting emotions influence your decisions, influence how you communicate with people, you know what I'm saying? That's when it gets out of control. But emotions have no place in business except for to get you to do what you need to do. Oh, and to use people's emotions to get them to do what they need to do. Right? Hey, listen, you told me you wanted to see your grandkids. You wanted to be, want to see your grandkids for Christmas. Okay. Your house currently has been on the market for 52 days. You haven't reduced the price of your home. You said you really want to see your grandkids. Is what's it going to be like if you're not there for Christmas?
Yeah.
Because you didn't sell your home. Is the $10,000 I'm asking you to reduce the price of your home, is that $10,000 worth more watching your grandkids open Christmas presents with you there, knowing you're not going to have to leave to come back to your house? Okay, right? You see what I'm saying? That's where emotion's appropriate.
Yeah.
Emotion's appropriate is get the hell out of bed. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of bed. You got to go work out. You always feel better when you work out. Come on. You know what I'm saying? That Jimmy Nelson's going to get that listing instead of you. You can't let Jimmy get that listing instead of you. Get your fat ass out of bed, go work out, right? That's where emotion makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not, I'm going to call that my client's insulted by your offer. And, and then you go to your clients, they're insulted by your offer. F them. That does nobody any good.
Right.
It's like, I remember there was an agent in where I sold houses, and she worked in a bedroom community. And the agents are in bedroom communities. Sometimes they feel like they're saving lives. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I get it, right? Everybody's different. But I'll never forget, my clients were insulted by your offer. I'm like, okay, we're not curing cancer here. Okay, it's an offer, right? And so I went back to my clients. I was like, hey, it looks like we missed the mark a little bit. I didn't go back and say, they were insulted by our offer. Can you believe that? Oh, my God. You don't whack the beehive. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people get that. So anyway.
Yeah. And, I've been on the opposite side of that. I had clients that are like, well, we're insulted by this offer. And I say, well, it's an offer. It's,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have an offer.
What's insulting about an offer?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we have an offer.
Thank you, but no thank you. You can reject it or you can accept it or you can counter, but insulted.
Yeah. Because guess what? The next one that comes in, now we're in a multiple offer situation.
Yeah. Even if it's 2 crappy offers, we still have 2 crappy offers, right? So
that's when we have to start doing our work.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, by the way, all this stuff we're talking about, like, we've lived this, like we've been through this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't pull a lot of this from a book somewhere. This is a result of making mistakes and doing dumb stuff and saying dumb stuff and getting knocked down and getting back up again and learning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't learn about how to manage the need to manage my emotions by reading a book by somebody. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go read How to Win Friends and Influence People and learn how to get along with people perfectly from that book. It's by making mistakes and being resilient and coming back and saying and figuring out how to do a better job and getting feedback and figuring out how to do a better job and getting feedback. You know what I'm saying? And when you were as colossal a screw up as I was in so many ways, you got a lot of feedback. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And so, but now I don't. I screw up, I get the feedback and move on. So
yeah,
there's no ivory tower here for Jimmy and me. This is real, like raw, like we screwed up and here's what we learned.
Yeah. I just was at an event on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I ran into one of my very first brokers that I worked for, and she said, "Remember that offer you wrote? It was one of the first offers I wrote." And
you're like, absolutely, I remember it. Like yesterday, man. Of course I do.
Yeah,
it was probably terrible, right?
Yeah, well, I wrote a 10-day inspection period, right? Mm-hmm. But then I wrote a 10-day response because I didn't know what else to put in there.
Yeah,
so I just put 10 and 10.
Yeah. Like 20 days, what?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we don't, we don't know, right?
No.
Of course I remember that offer.
Yeah.
I also remember every game I lost growing up as a kid. I can tell you exactly how I felt after every bad decision I made in my life. What's your point?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny that that's what she brought up, right?
Right.
Hey, so good to see you. Oh, Jimmy, so good to see you. Hey, do you remember that crappy offer you wrote? Oh, I miss you too. Don't trip on the way out to your car.
The funny thing is, I got that offer accepted. They accepted that offer.
Yeah, because they probably didn't know any better either. So.
Right. Exactly. And it's funny, like, you again, because to your point, we're no ivory tower here. We've screwed up a lot. So if we can steer you around some of those bumps in the road, we're here to steer you around some of those bumps in the road. Right. Yep. There is a door to walk through. You don't have to walk through the wall.
It's hard to learn from other people's mistakes, but sometimes you can,
Right. Yeah. So how many books do you have out now?
I've ghostwritten 2 of them, and then I wrote and published my own, and then I co-authored one, and then I just put out another one with Kyle Draper and his Rethink Everything series, and Chris Heller wrote the foreword for it. So so 3 with my name actually on it, and then 5 that I've written or have taken part in writing.
Yeah, and everybody can find those books on Amazon because you're an Amazon award winner.
I am an Amazon best-selling author. Very fortunately, yes. Thank you. Yep.
Yes. It's one of those things you didn't mention that at all. I had to bring that up for you.
My need for significance has gone down significantly over the period of my life, and if I have to tell you that I'm great about something, then that means I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not people who tell you how great they are at something and start with that. You know what I'm saying? It speaks to a need for significance or approval or something like that.
Yeah. Well, as we're wrapping up today, Wally, where can everybody find you?
So here's the thing. My email address is wally@milliondollarproduceros.com. My biggest fan's here today. I love it.
Yeah, she is.
Yep. So it's Wally@milliondollarproduceros.com. My cell phone number is 214-334-1356. You're welcome to text me. Anybody can have 15 minutes on my calendar if they want to talk about their business or their life. And then my website is milliondollarproduceros.com. milliondollarproduceros. OS is short for operating system.com.
Love it. Love it.
I really appreciate the opportunity to get on here, Jimmy. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh man, thanks for coming on. This is going to be big, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know the audience is going to enjoy it. Whether you're listening now or listening later, or watching now or watching later, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, Lead Edge Network. And but you're going to be joining us on Monday morning on the phone call too.
I am. Yep. And quick shameless plug here. I've got a call Reluctance class coming up. It's an 8-week class, and if you have procrastination, perfectionism, or call reluctance issues, I guarantee I'll make it go away in 2 months. So let me know if you're interested.
I love it. 8-week course. Find Wally wherever you find him. And then Lead Edge Network. Don't forget, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, but find us wherever you find podcasts, guys. And we'll be back next week. Via Williams is joining us next week.
So, you're working your way through realty.com. I like it.
Way through realty.com, buddy.
Via is a powerhouse. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's incredible.
You're going to love her. She's funny, smart.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Tall, but you know what she lacks in height, she makes up with personality and bigness inside.
I love it. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us. Join us next week, and we'll see you guys out there. Take it easy.